Alrighty, folks, the three amigos are back at it, and we're going to do something very different. In fact, we're going to tackle a topic I don't think we've ever discussed in a video. Let's welcome them first. Dion, how you doing?
Howdy, I'm doing great. I'm actually interested to see how this one goes because this is different from what we normally do.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. And Matt, how are you?
I'm going to take the L up front, but I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the L up front. He's just phoning it in, folks. Oh, that's so good. Well, there you go. We're gonna do something new. I'm gonna talk about creating a YouTube channel. All three of us have YouTube channels. We put different amounts of time into it each week. All of us are monetized, I believe. All of us
Yes.
have been monetized for quite a while. And I just want to answer some basic questions like, hey, should you create a YouTube channel? If you create one, what should you do? Things of that nature. Because I do think one of the things going forward for folks is having a YouTube channel, at least for me, is a way of getting known and a way of inspiring or educating. So, Dion, I think you have had the YouTube channel the longest, I believe, if I looked at the numbers correctly. But what do you think about creating a? Go ahead.
I started January 6th, 2021.
Oh, my mistake. I might have looked at Millennial Mike's. I think his was the longest.
His is the longest, I think.
Yeah, so I got my data wrong. So mine started in 18, I think March of 2018. Matt, when did yours start? Do you know roughly?
2020
Okay.
sometime.
All right. So there you go. So it was Millennial Mike because his was years before mine. But Dion, you've had a YouTube channel for quite a while. You do put content on it. You do live streams. If you were going to advise someone to start a new channel on a topic that they're passionate about, what would be some advice you have for them?
So whenever somebody says, how do I get started in real estate? I always talk about, here's the 6 steps you get started into real estate. And I start with like the fundamentals of investing in money and saving and credit score and all that. But really, if you want to get started in real estate, what would you do? You would watch a bunch of content on successful people in real estate. How did they do it? How did they do it with resources similar to mine, with goals similar to mine, with a strategy that I think I could do? If you're going to start in YouTube, I would watch a lot of content of people who created successful YouTube channels. Now, there are some out there like Think Media, Sean Cannell, that goes, here's the nuts and bolts of how YouTube works and does all this, great information. But I'd be watching somebody like Minority Mindset, right? Mm-hmm. How did he grow? How did Meet Kevin? How did Graham Stephan? How did get an idea of that? I would definitely watch Think Media, vidIQ, the channels that say, here's how to do the basics. And then watch the content of the larger channels to figure out a really simple concept that comes up often in our realm is, why do Crash Bros get so many views? Mm-hmm. So if you're going to make a channel, one of the things you need to determine is, are you trying to help people? Or are you trying to help yourself? Because if you want to help people, you tell them the truth. And if you want to help yourself, you tell people what they want to hear. People want to hear about crashes, so they get a ton more views. Yeah. So that would be kind of my first couple of step processes. Take in content on how to create content. There's a ton of it out there. You find somebody who resonates with you, and then determine, are you trying to grow a channel for the purpose of growing a channel to make money? Or are you growing a channel to try to help people?
Yeah, I think that's one of the very first, very, very, very early. And now that we're over 50,000 subs, I'm getting more and more people reaching out to me, asking questions like this. And I don't know if this is certainly not scientific. It's, one guy's opinion. I think 80% of the people that start YouTube channels chase money and 20% chase impact. Huh. And again, I think you're right, Dion. You got to answer that question first because the strategies are completely different. Yep. Don't do what we did if you want to chase money. Not the game. Not the game. Matt, somebody came to you and said, hey, should I create a YouTube channel? What should I do? All that stuff. What would you be thinking?
Only if you have a thick skin.
Tell me more.
I think that there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of posers and losers out there that have nothing better to do than watch winners on their phones. It's just the way it goes, and there's plenty of losers out there that have channels that add no value whatsoever. And it's not that it's not work. It's work. It's work to produce a show. It's work to, get graphics and have good quality. And, some people write scripts. I don't write scripts, And so it really, there can be a lot of work that goes into it. But I think that one of the things is, you know, my personality type is, do I care what Mike and Dion think? Sure. Do I care what other guys think? F off. Don't care.
No, no.
Don't care.
That's
Like
below, above the line and below the line.
yeah, there's an above. Exactly. And so from that perspective, if you really know me, then yeah, I generally, I want to work with you. If you don't know me and you think I'm a jerk, whatever, I think you're a loser. So how about them apples? So from my perspective, I think that you need to be thick skinned, because people are like, oh, you're so thin skinned. No, I'm not. You came to pick on me and I'm just punching you back in the mouth.
Yeah, you're not used to the other guy punching back, are you?
You're just not used to the other guy being 10 times smarter than you and being able to buy you 1,000 times over. Yeah. I'm here. You know that story your mom told you growing up? You just got to be careful because there's always somebody better than you at that in the room. Nice to meet you. That's me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the crazy thing, right? Is that you really just better be thick skinned. For me, I don't pay them any mind, but I'm not going to let them run wild because there's other people that are trying to see how the elite guy responds. And I fear none of them. They're like a fart, you know, they stink and they're gone and that's it. So I think that people need to A, have thick skin, and then B, for me, I probably am setting the record for the slowest growing YouTube channel ever, but I don't care. I don't look at subscribers. I truthfully don't. What I look at is every single Sunday, 60, 70, 80, 100 people that are wanting to do work, that are wanting to learn real estate from somebody that has expertise. They're coming and hanging out and asking their questions and getting a ton of free value. That's what's important to me. I want to make the next generation of investors. And that doesn't mean age. That means the next generation of investor, the people that finally say, you know what, man, I'm 45 years old. You're my age. You're 46. And you look at it and you go, I got 19 years. I got 19 years of work left. If I'm lucky, I might need to do 24 or worse, 29. I might be working until I'm over 70 years old. I have people that I know in their 70s and they still have to work. I don't want that to be that way for people. So if you want to learn, I'm more than happy to come and have that conversation with you. The challenge becomes when you're creating that new YouTube channel, add value. Don't chase the dollars. The dollars, honestly, are so, it's like Meet Kevin is like, you know, maybe LeBron, right? Like he makes a ton of money from his channel, but he has these other business ventures. How many other people make Meet Kevin type of money? Not many. It's a pretty short list.
Yeah. Yeah, when I hear people talking about a YouTube channel, the first thing I go to, I like how Dion breaks down, these are the 6 things. I really go to the fact is, what do you love?
Yeah.
What would you talk about for free? Because, oh, by the way, you're going to talk about it for at least a year for free. So you better like whatever the hell you're talking about. I did 1,000 videos before I made $1 of monetization. I didn't even know it was a thing until I got that little like alert saying, oh, you know, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I think there's too many, again, the 80-20 I talked about earlier. Lots of people want to chase the money and they want to copy. They want to copy Meet Kevin or Graham or, you know, Minority Mindset. I think that's a huge mistake. There's no way you're going to get the reps in and be any of those people. There's no chance. You're going to give up before that happens. And how arrogant is it of you to think you're going to be them when you haven't done the work? You haven't put in the reps. I mean, that's arrogant beyond arrogance. If you want to be, you know, if you want to learn from them and learn the hook and titles, by all means, study them.
Yeah.
But don't copy them, if that makes sense. What do you think, Dion?
So I have the 6 steps to getting started in real estate. With YouTube, I would think of just 4.
Oh, okay.
A little bit simpler.
Okay.
When you go to make your content, and so what we're talking about so far is like the theoretical. What's your channel going to be about? Who are you going to try to help? What is your goal? But when it comes time to make your channel, sound starts first. Start with sound. Sound is more important. If people start a video and they don't like the sound, the background sound, the tinniness of your voice, the room you're in, the type of mic you have, you can get a Boya mic off of Amazon for like $30. You can get boom mics. You can figure out however you're going to make your content. So start with sound, then go with lighting. You need something that makes it brighter brighter is better. You can do colors. I think the purple that you do, Mike, and one time it was green on accident, but you have purple, right? You have your color. Those matter for the channel, but your content, like you said, Mike, it's got to be something you love, something you can talk about, something you would talk about for free, something that you educate yourself on. Because one of the reasons I learned so much about real estate is I started to get close to financial freedom, and I started answering questions in the Bigger Pockets forums. And I got pounced because I didn't know what I was talking about. I'd never used an FHA loan. So I said something about FHA loans, and my lack of knowledge was quickly pointed out. And I was like, oh, I better do some research before I open my mouth again, right? So I learned the different things before I would give answers. I know what I'm talking about. Whatever subject you're going to go on, research it. Understand there's going to be opposing views. Understand your content. And then the last thing, when you start your channel, it's going to suck. Every video is going to be terrible. You're going to say and about 30 more times than you think you did. Watch those first few videos again and watch your words. But if you don't do those videos that suck, you'll never get to the ones that don't.
Yeah. And then the last thing I will tell someone is one of the reasons that One Rental at a Time has produced a lot of content and grown is obviously the consistency. But I think One Rental at a Time is a different channel because it's really a collection of 10 people, right? I only do one video solo a day, which is the daily financial news. Every other video I do is with a millionaire. And what I would tell someone to do if you're creating a channel around something you love, I'm going to guess there are other amazing souls who love that stuff too. Go find 2, 3, 4, 5 folks, make some new friends.
Yeah.
And I think you'd be shocked at how much easier the content is. If I had to create 11,000 videos by myself, this channel wouldn't exist. It just wouldn't exist. I couldn't do it. But the fact that I get to talk to you guys today for roughly an hour and produce 3 pieces of content, awesome. After this, I talked to Omar, 3 pieces of content in an hour. I would not enough people invite other talented and passionate and interesting folks to their world. It's like they think they're going to give something up. So invite people. And we lost Dion for some reason. How'd that happen?
He's sneezing, burping, or farting.
I turned off his video. Matt, do me a favor, bring us home.
Well, yeah, I think that's exactly right. Like one of the fun things for me is, Mike, you and I have done so many transactions.
Yeah.
And while it still moves the needle a little bit for us, right? It's the law of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
And so one of the most exciting things for us that we get to do is that we get to be part of other people's journeys.
Yeah. Let me just tell you, I think you're going here, but I just want to say it.
Yeah.
I get the marginal bump on whatever it is, adrenaline from somebody else getting a deal, way beyond if I get another deal. It doesn't even move the needle.
Oh my word. When I hear somebody got one in their first 5, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, because I know how scary that is, right? We all know how scary it is, how it's like, the tenant's going to stop paying rent tomorrow, the roof's going to cave in, and the furnace is going to blow up. And that's going to happen in the first 7 hours I own the property. And it's like, don't worry, the tenant will pay rent. They just haven't paid it because it's the 23rd. Relax.
Yeah, it's not quite the first yet.
Yeah. And the roof didn't collapse. You lost a shingle and your furnace needs to be cleaned. It's okay. Yeah. You know, but that's the kind of stuff. And so I like being a part of that because I remember what it was like. You know, I know far more about houses than I ever thought I was ever going to know. But you learn it doing it for 20 years, being in the trenches, having conversations every day. Look at my Instagram. That used to be, it would probably take me 5 years to do the amount of content I've done in 6 months on Instagram because there was not that much frequency. So I think it's a blessing to be able to be part of people's journeys, and it's exciting. And quite frankly, it's why I enjoy my live streams on Sundays. It's a blast.
Matt, where can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and Instagram, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time on Sundays.
And Dion, closing thoughts, and where can people find you?
Find me right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. My closing thoughts is, I don't think people should start a YouTube channel thinking this is how I'm going to replace my income and retire. But if you have a side hustle that YouTube can augment, where you can build your client base, what's that thing where you're respected? There's another term for it. I forget it.
Dion.
Right. There you go. Top of mind awareness, right? That thing where you have not validation. If you're putting out information on a subject, people are more likely to buy your stuff if it's on
Right.
that subject.
Yep.
Right? I've got a friend who makes furniture. He makes weird wood bed things, builds the whole things by hand. I'd say 95% of his sales come from his YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you have, like you say, a side hustle, YouTube augments it wonderfully. Yeah. Totally agree. All right, guys. Thank you very much for a wonderful week. I always appreciate our time together. Thank you for being here each and every week. I appreciate you, and I know the audience does too. So take care.
Thanks, Mike. See ya.
Mhm.